Three strangers, one city, one crash that changes everything. In 2000, a film exploded out of Mexico City, and it hit the world like a fist through glass. Raw, unlike anything playing beside it. It was called Amores Perros, a debut film that shattered expectations, launched 4 major careers overnight, and left audiences breathless, and sometimes devastated. 25 years later, it still hits just as hard. Here are 20 things you probably never knew about Amores Perros. The word perros literally means dogs, but in Mexican slang it also means wretchedness, misery, an unworthy person, a hired killer, and an unfaithful partner. Every single one of those definitions lives inside this film. The title isn't a phrase, it's a diagnosis of the human condition, packed into 2 words.
¿Qué todavía vienen?
No sé, no los veo. La madre se está desangrando un chingo este cabrón, güey.
Tápale la herida ahí.
No puedo, cabrón.
Con el dedo, cabrón.
Eso es mucha sangre, güey. ¡Ahí vienen esos ojetes!
Since Bernal was in danger of being dismissed from missing class, Iñárritu arranged his medical leave by sending a certificate claiming the actor had contracted a tropical disease and needed to return home immediately. A forged tropical disease, a future Oscar-winning director covering for his lead actor, only in cinema. Gael Garcia Bernal was studying acting in London at the Royal Central School for Speech and Drama when he received a live on-air phone call from Iñárritu, who was hosting a radio show and was told on live radio that the director was going to send him the script. A young Mexican student in London hearing his future arrive through a phone call on the radio. Bernal left home at 17 to attend the Central School of Speech and Drama in London, becoming the school's first ever student from Mexico. And halfway through his studies, opportunity came calling. He had to make a choice, his education or the role of a lifetime. He chose the role. He never looked back. Bernal was completely unaware that this story was part of a larger narrative. He said he was confused when his story ended too soon and then realized there were other stories. Back then, he was naive, and somehow this film just happened to him. The towering performance at the heart of the film came from Emilio Echevarria, a man who spent his early career doing accounting before deciding around age 30 to pursue theater. By the time Iñárritu found him, he had decades of craft waiting to explode onto screen. The character of Maru, El Chivo's abandoned daughter, was played by Echevarria's real-life daughter, Lourdes Echevarria, a father and daughter acting out abandonment and longing together. The grief on screen wasn't entirely fictional. Dog trainer Larry Casanova found the dogs on the street and trained them for 8 months before shooting began. Echevarria fed them himself throughout the entire process. When El Chivo walks in the movie, the dogs walk next to him. And that's not pretend. They really did develop a relationship with him. The most disturbing scenes in the film were entirely an illusion. The dogs were playing, their muzzles were covered with near-invisible fish line. For scenes where dogs appeared dead or injured, they were briefly sedated under supervision of the Mexican SPCA. What felt unbearable to watch caused not a single animal any pain. Writer Guillermo Arriaga's screenplay was inspired by people who knew his neighborhood and personal events, particularly a 1985 car crash he survived. That accident didn't just give the movie its stunning opening sequence, it gave the entire film its structure. The script took nearly 4 years and reportedly 36 different treatments before Iñárritu felt it was ready to shoot. The collision that ties all 3 stories together was captured with 9 cameras rolling at once, including 2 positioned on adjacent rooftops and 1 hidden inside a trash barrel on the street. That's not filmmaking, that's orchestrating chaos. Iñárritu and cinematographer Rodrigo Prieto shot the entire film handheld, No dollies, not even tripods. That shaking, breathing, suffocating closeness you feel in every scene was a deliberate choice to make the city feel alive around the characters. It worked beyond anything either of them expected. While filming in the poorest neighborhoods in Mexico City, Iñárritu and part of the crew were robbed by street gangs. This wasn't a set designed to look dangerous, it was dangerous, and that reality bleeds through every single frame. No major studio believed in it. Iñárritu secured the modest budget from a private company, but when the costs crept higher, he and his producer invested their own money to finish the film. It went on to make $21 million at the international box office. Every personal dollar they risked came back tenfold. Iñárritu locked himself in his home for 9 months to edit the film. During that period, Alfonso Cuarón and Guillermo del Toro provided feedback on the cuts. Del Toro came to stay for 3 days and claims he helped cut a significant chunk of the running time. 3 of the greatest filmmakers of their generation in one room cutting a debut film that would change Mexican cinema forever. Music supervisor Lin Fengtin gave Iñárritu a copy of the album Ron Rocco by Gustavo Santaolalla during post-production. Impressed, Iñárritu asked him to score the film. Santaolalla would go on to win back-to-back Academy Awards for Best Original Score for Brokeback Mountain and Babel. The music of Amores Perros launched one of the great careers in film scoring. The film won the Critics' Week Grand Prix at Cannes in 2000. Bernal recalled that 7 of the cast and crew had been sharing a tiny apartment, thinking their poster would get completely lost among the crowd. That no one would notice them. They were wrong. The Red Hot Chili Peppers music video for By the Way was directly inspired by the film's opening car chase sequence. When a rock band builds a video around your debut film, you know you've made something that reached beyond cinema entirely. Amores Perros ignited the Mexican New Wave. Alfonso Cuarón saw the film and cast Bernal in Y Tu Mama Tambien. That led to Harry Potter, then Children of Men, then Gravity. Iñárritu himself would go on to win back-to-back Best Director's Oscars for Birdman and The Revenant. One debut film quietly rewrote the future of the world's cinema. Most films fade. This one keeps growing. The Criterion Collection remastered it in 2020. A 4K restoration screened at Cannes Classics in 2024. Mubi acquired worldwide rights and re-released it globally in 2025. A quarter century in and the world is still watching it for the first time. Amores Perros didn't just arrive, it erupted. And 25 years later, the ground is still shaking. Which fact hit you the hardest? Tell me in the comments. Keep watching, keep feeling, and never stop chasing the magic of cinema. I'll catch you in the next one.